So I want to dig into the app a little bit more. My name is Mark. Some of you know me, some of you don't. If you don't know me, I'll do a quick introduction and overview of who I am and what I've done and what we're going to discuss today. I've been in the e-commerce game pretty much my entire adult life, pretty much starting from when I was about 17, 18 years old. I joined a couple different brands and I would focus almost primarily on e-commerce. I've spent almost every living awake moment ever since then in one form or another inside the e-commerce world. I'm currently the CMO of a beauty brand. I've spent about the last 5 years or so of it on Shopify Plus, or maybe it was just 3 years on Shopify Plus and 2 years not on Shopify Plus, but the point is I'm pretty familiar with the whole Shopify ecosystem, and I've also just in general been a merchant and had all the different struggles that almost every merchant will experience over the years. We built multiple teams to handle it. We're doing, on average, we're about a 7-figure or so a month in sales. And I'm going to tell you a bit of a story, and we'll get right into this. So, this goes back about a year and a half ago. I got an email from a company. I'm going to try not to name the name of the company in this video because I honestly don't want to get too much into it. And I don't want to get sued by them either, so I'm just going to skip out on their name, but I'm just going to tell you it was one of these companies who came to us and said, we're going to offer free shipping. We're going to basically give you, for free to the merchant, a guarantee to your customers that if anything happens to your package when you ship it, let's say it gets stolen, lost, damaged, something happens along the way, we will take care of it. We will either refund you, the merchant, and allow you to refund them and make you whole again, or we're going to, pay for the reorder and you ship it again to the customer. It sounded all great because, as merchants, we suffer from this kind of stuff. People say they didn't get the product, FedEx delivers it to the wrong house, or UPS, or if you're using USPS, God knows what that's pretty much more common than with FedEx and UPS. And then what we just found over time was we said, okay, well, this makes a lot of sense. We're going to save a lot of money on all these lost, stolen, damaged products, and we're going to go ahead and let the customer handle it. Now, the way this company would work is it would basically put a widget onto your site. They would collect money from the customer, a small fee, $2, $3, $4, $5 or something like that. Like usually would be under $3 per order. And then when something went wrong and the customer contacted you and said, hey, listen, merchant, I didn't get my package, it never arrived, where's my package? And you look at the tracking, you say it says delivered. And you say, well, it says delivered on it. And they say, well, I never got it. And you're like, okay, well, let me connect you to this insurance company. You paid for it, and they will handle the care from here. Now, the first thing that's wrong with this process is that it breaks your customer service, right? So you have a customer service team, they're on live chat, they're on email, they call you, whatever the case is, and you have a relationship with your customer. As soon as something goes wrong and the customer's frustrated, they're frustrated at you, right? No one blames FedEx or UPS for misdelivery. It's just common nature. We all order stuff, we know that FedEx and DHL, USPS, whatever, they mess up, but we don't blame them for it. We always go back to the merchant and say, well, I gave you the money, you're supposed to take care of this. So the merchant then has to say, okay, well, now you go to the insurance company, this third party, and they will resolve this for you. Now, it's not the end of the world if that insurance company is quick to reply, quick to handle it, and quick to resolve it. The problem is that in order for insurance companies to make money, they have to intentionally not do that. So they cannot just give you money right away. They have to check it. They have to insist and put you through some hurdles and struggles, because otherwise everybody would just call up and say, yeah, I didn't get it, and now they have 2 packages, return one and keep the other one. Don't do that. It sucks. It's a horrible thing to do. But you get the point. The point is that insurance companies' entire premise of their business is built on the premise that they're going to try as hard as possible to not have to reimburse the merchant or reship the package to the customer. That's just the nature of it, right? They'll look for someone to blame. They'll look for something else. I don't want to say that's the whole nature of insurance, because, in car insurance it's different and people don't, it's not like insurance companies are waiting to screw over people, but then essentially they do, because they have statistics and they have, mathematicians who sit behind the desk and figure out people's claims. They charge premiums based on this, but over here, that's not really the case, right? This insurance company was just basing it on the same price for everybody. There wasn't a different premium based on if you lived in a more, what do they call them now? Porch pirates. So if you lived in an area where there were a lot of porch pirates, this company didn't charge more money for it. They didn't do any of that. So long story short, I ran this app for about 6 or 7 months. In that period of time, they were made about $12,000 from us in these fees. Now, the way it works is we collect the money on their behalf, and then every month they would charge our credit card based on the amount of package protection that they saw inside our system, inside our Shopify dashboard or in our platform. Now, in the beginning, I didn't really care because it's like I'm not losing any money. What do I care if they're making money? But over time, I started to worry about it, and I started to think like, okay, what's going on? Especially when customers started to have issues. So what would happen? A customer would call them and say, you come to us and say, I didn't get my package. FedEx says it was delivered, but I never got it. So they would say, well, that means it was probably stolen off your porch. In which case, please go to the police station and go file a police report. Now, if you're a normal person, like me, like anybody else, you don't go to the police station to file police reports. No one wants to sit in a police station. It's just not something we want to do, right? So obviously the customer isn't going to do that. And if they are going to do that, they're going to be even more frustrated because then filing a police report in a police station could take 2 hours. And some police officers especially if you live in like a city and stuff, and the precincts are busy and there's a lot of people there, it could take forever. If you live in rural areas and you have to drive 10 miles to get to the sheriff's office to file a police report over a package that didn't arrive that you bought online from a company, the whole thing is just bizarre and absurd, and no one's going to do it. And I think that's kind of what this insurance company was banking on, or this app, let's call it. They had raised something like $50 million to do this. And so this got me thinking that, and so obviously the customer service thing was broken, but what would happen when they came and said, oh, go to the police report? The customer would be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. And the customer would basically come back to us, the merchant, and say, dude, I listened to you, I went to an insurance company, they want me to file a police report, I don't have time for this, I ordered it from you. Either you send it to me again, or I'm doing a chargeback, and at this point you're thinking, okay, I'm going to get negative reviews, I'm going to get a chargeback, it's going to cost me more in fees, let me just ship it myself. So what was the point of the insurance in the first place? You're not benefiting from it, and you're paying for sending the packages again anyways. And your customer's pissed off. I might as well just send the package myself and not have this insurance company involved in this at all. And what I found out after doing the 6-month trial was I looked into the data and I saw that they hadn't approved a single claim. They had to come up with excuses for every single one. Granted, we didn't have a lot. We only had maybe 10, 15, 20 claims. But of all those 15, 20 claims, they made $9,000, $10,000 on us, and they didn't approve a single claim. And so that got me thinking that there had to be a better way. And you know how all those TV commercials go, and there had to be a better way. Oh, and there is. Well, that's going to lead me to today's conversation. I'm a merchant. I do about 7 figures a month. We have a bunch of orders, and we decided on our own to go ahead, or at least we used to do 7 figures. It slowed down a little bit, but basically we decided to create our own insurance, and we ran it for 12 months. We created our own widget. We can't call it insurance because if you call it insurance, you need an underwriter. So we called it shipping protection. It's basically a promise, a commitment from me to my customer. My customer pays $3, $4, $5, $8, $10. And we, in return, promise that if anything happens to the package, we will reship it without any hassle, without any burden. Now, I'm going to pause this for a second, and I'm going to go into some of the other information, and we're going to talk about the app, we're going to talk about how it works, we're going to talk about the benefits of it, and we're going to talk about statistics. I will tell you all about how much money we made, how much money you can make, and why this is one of the most powerful tools that I would say this is one of my most powerful hacks that I've come up with in the last 14 months or so. And it's literally just driving profit to our company's bottom line every single month. So let's get started. The company's name, our app is called Navidium Shipping Protection. Navidium is a mix of 2 words in Latin referring to shipping protection in Latin. And we came up with the idea to just put the 2 together. I think it was, I don't remember the exact word, but when we came up with the name, it was like 2 words and we put them 2 together. And it's funny because it turns out there's actually a technology company for shipping companies called Navidium, and our app is navidiumapp.com, and theirs is navidium.com. Long story short, it's really cute, but we ended up going with Navidium Shipping Protection in the Shopify Store. It's brand new. It just got approved a couple days ago. But it's not a new app because a version of this app, or at least a legacy version of this app, has been running in my own store for over a year. I'm going to show you the data. I'm going to tell you all about it. And it's nothing secret here because at the end of the day, I believe in 2 things. 1, this insurance company, if by any chance you already know who I'm talking about, I honestly think They're the worst. I really, really would like people to get off their platform and start doing self-insurance because it just doesn't make sense. If they were offering any value, that would be one thing, but they aren't. So if they aren't, I feel like I had to do something. And as a merchant, I did it for myself and I got rid of them. That wasn't enough. I could blast them on social media and all that, but that's not interesting. I wanted to put an app or another alternative option to the table because these guys had a lot of funding. They got $50 million. They have plenty of funding to keep coming after guys, chasing down merchants. And merchants who don't know better are making the same mistake. And eventually they catch on and they flip, and this has become a game. So I had to do something, and I decided to build an alternative app. I'm sorry. So the video shipping app, what is it? It's basically the exact same concept. We are self-service. So you install the app. I don't take a percentage of your revenue. I don't touch your customers. I don't want to talk to your customers. I don't want to have anything to do with any of that. You own your customers. You own your shipping. You do everything. I don't want to bill you anything. We're just a simple technology app, and for that, you're going to pay a monthly fee. Just for the technology, that's it. We're not charging you a percentage of revenue. We're not anything. In fact, we've made it free for the first 50 orders a month. So if you have 50 orders a month, or you're a small mom and pop shop just getting started, you can use our app completely free, no cost at all. And regardless of all that, everybody gets a 7-day free trial. But separate from that, there's a free plan, 50 orders a month, recycles every month, and you can enjoy this and go on and test it for months on end until you grow. And as you grow and as you get more orders every single month, the prices start to go up. $29, and it caps out at $100 because I thought $100 is more than enough. I'm not looking to get rich from this app. It's not something that we're doing as a business. I am a CMO of a company. Our whole team is employed. Everybody has work. This was a side pet project that I want to take them down. We need it. We have to pay for servers. We have to pay for support. We have to pay for new features that we plan to build. And we have a whole list of really amazing features that will kick their butt. But for that, we needed to charge something. $100 seemed fair. To say $100. And why is it fair? Because I have seen my own store make $700, $800 on shipping protection in a single day. And I'm going to show it to you live so you know I'm not like one of those people saying, oh, I'm a guru showing you. No, I'm going to show you my Shopify dashboard live. I'll show you how much money we made from shipping protection in the last couple days. Granted, it's Black Friday and you know, sales were a little bit higher than normal, but it's not new, and I can go back in January and February of last year and show you what we made then, and you'll see the same thing. So basically what we do is we put a little widget onto your site at the cart button. If you have right below the checkout button, and it's a switch and it's opted in and it says, hey, I want to pay for shipping and protection to get against loss, damage, and stuff for X amount of money. And this widget can be turned off and opted out of, or you can leave it opted in and the customer will get that shipping protection product added to their cart. When they check out, they'll see they have shipping protection and the products that they purchased. It's all very simple, very easy. The installation part we do like to do manually because we like to really go in there and make sure that it's going to look nice. We want it to be in the right place on your site, but not too, out there. We want it to be sort of a little bit more subdued because we don't want to hurt your conversion rate. We also, not that it will, because in all our data we never saw it did. We actually saw it improved it. But we want to also make sure that the products can be hidden from the cart so that people don't see it. We want to hide the shipping protection from your index so it doesn't start showing up in your search and in all your, similar products and stuff. So I'm going to get to part 2. So part 2 of this video is going to talk all about the app and how it works and show you the actual app. This was a quick overview. Right now, and so I figured the first step we talk about is the basic gist of the app. So the app is designed in a way where essentially there's 3 layers to the app. Layer number 1 is the on-site widget. Basically, we add a small little widget to your cart. Well, it depends if you're a Plus store or a regular store. If you're a regular store, which I'm guessing the vast majority of stores are, we don't have access to the checkout page, so we have to do it on the cart page. And essentially, what we do is we add a small little widget on the bottom of the checkout button. You can put it on top of the checkout button. There's a little bit of flexibility when we're installing it where exactly you want to put it, but the best optimal place would be like right below the checkout button, and it has a little switch, and it says, if I want to protect my order for X amount of money, etc., against lost, stolen, or damaged deliveries. By default, we like to keep it enabled, and customers will disable it if they don't want it. We find about 65% of customers will keep it enabled. The rest tend to take it off. Again, it varies a little bit in your audience. Like if you have a very discount-driven sort of consumer base, they may be less prone to it and they'll shut it off more. But if you have a more typical everyday consumer, they generally will either miss it, they won't notice it. If they do notice it, they'll read it and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I don't care to pay whatever extra dollars, a couple extra dollars to make sure that I'm like protected and my peace of mind's there. I'm sorry. And so they'll just keep that there and everything will be great. And essentially what we do is we add in a shipping protection product. We have a few different ways we'll do it, and I'll get into that in 1 minute when we go through the settings. Then essentially the customer checks out, they see that they paid for protection. Now, if everything goes well, that's fine. That money goes into your pocket. You get to keep that as pure profit. If, however, something goes wrong, the customer contacts your normal support channel, maybe by email, live chat, social, and says to you, hey, I never got my package. You look it up and you see, well, FedEx says it was delivered. Probably it was either stolen or delivered to the wrong house. You tell your customer, no problem, we'll reship it for you. I see you have shipping protection. In our customer service team, we like to we'll reship it even if they didn't have the insurance, but generally we'll tell them, look, we're doing generally speaking, we don't reship it if an item is marked as delivered, and we would just send you to FedEx to go deal with it. Even the truth is that even the customers who are enabled to shipping protection, we always like to drag it out a little bit, a couple days, because sometimes FedEx will mark it delivered and then 2 days later it arrives, or it gets delivered to a neighbor. So we generally like to tell them, check with your neighbor, check with your friends, any family members living in your house. Let's give it another 2 or 3 days and see if it arrives and it gets misrepresented. If not, we will reship it out for you because you're protected. Customers who aren't protected, we like to tell them something like, we're going to do this one-time courtesy, but in the future, you need to leave the shipping insurance enabled. And when we talk to customers directly, we typically will call it more like insurance, and we like to present it as if we took out a plan on their behalf, kind of thing. Even though it's not accurate, we're not trying to lie to them, but we're trying to make it a little bit more smooth and more buttery, so they don't feel so taken advantage by it. Because we're honestly funding these lost packages with this money. I mean, it is kind of what's happening in a sense, because the truth is that merchants are really losing money. Shipping costs a ton of money, and if we have to ship it again, it's a second time, plus whatever products you lost. So when a customer, is placing a $200-300 order, and then they says, hey, I never got it, that hurts a business. So if you're able to offset that cost even somewhat by having the shipping protection funds in your pocket, that's going to make a big difference. And if you aren't prone to having a lot of claims and issues with delivery, then that's just free money in your pocket, and it's an opportunity for us to try to offset our shipping costs. And the truth is I've thought really good and hard about whether to just charge for shipping. But customers have a big blockage against, especially in North America, customers have a big blockage thanks to Amazon against paying for shipping. So they would rather not pay for shipping and pay the same amount that they would have paid for shipping, but to have call it shipping protection, than to pay for shipping and not have shipping protection. It's just a psychology thing. It's pretty much, that's all it comes down to. And so the customer contacts you and says that. So what we've designed, and this is not something you have to do. Every business is going to have their own method, their own system, their own way of doing it. But because we wanted to eventually be able to give you good metrics on profit and loss, and being able to say, look, we collected $5,000 in shipping protection, you filed 7 claims this month amounting to this amount of money, this is how much was left over. In order to do that, we have to have insight into your claims. So we created a claims platform. I don't have it in my current business. We're running the legacy app still. We didn't switch over yet. And we don't have the claims management system. So our customer service, we have no idea how many shipping protections how many claims we fill out a month. I know just from reading the customer service complaints and issues that it's not a lot. It's a handful, maybe a dozen a month out of 2,000-3,000 orders a month, and we have maybe a dozen or so. But some businesses, if you're shipping USPS, you get a lot more claims. If you're shipping FedEx and DHL or UPS, they tend to be a little more reliable, and you'll have less. If you have like I said, a more cheapy type of customer client base, and they're more prone to taking advantage of merchants, you might have more claims. That's just the nature of the business. So you got to balance that out and figure out, and also figure out how much money you want to charge for it based on sort of this kind of methodology and this sort of your own statistics, so to speak. So let's jump right into the app. First, I'm just for what's that word that everybody uses for? I'll just show you how much, right, we made, okay? So here's yesterday. We made $12,496 in sales. You can see the package protection was $353, right? If we go to Saturday, you'll see we made $21,000 in sales, and shipping protection was $800. If we do the entire month, you'll see we made $210,000 in sales this month, $6,769 was shipping protection. Some of our larger months was like last year in let's do August of this year. I think we had a pretty decent month that month. There we did 256, and you can see shipping protection was 8,747. So you can see we're making real money from this. This is not like some small money. We've had months where we make $15,000, $20,000 also. Generally, those were the larger months. We have a lot of other issues in our business with stock and other stuff that gives us problems, but basically you can see the idea that shipping protection is a big percentage. And you can also see from here, we did 1,500 orders, and that month we had 896. So a little bit, just about half, a little more than half of our customers were paying for shipping protection. Now, I'll tell you what's interesting about the shipping protection is that customers who you'll see new customers tend to have it more, and then returning customers tend to start to opt out faster because they already had a good experience with you. They know your packages arrive, and they're like, okay, do I really need this? Do I not need this? Also, retention customers tend to spend a little bit less. The next time, the average order value starts to decrease as they package. So let's say you're selling them a group of items the first time, and then they still have that items, but they're buying accessories for it. The accessories value is much lower, and so typically the retention orders are a little bit of a lower average order value than your initial order, and so then automatically your shipping protection will be less because of that. Now let's talk quickly about the few different settings that we prepared for you. So, oh god, all right, hang on, we are logged out because of. Let me see if it'll log really quickly in. If not, I think I might have to go through the app again because I think we probably lost. Oh no, it's right here. All right, so in the settings, we allow you to change everything. So you can change like the icon. I like this for the icon. I think you should personally leave it. But this is what the widget looks like. So it's a small little widget. This is Nvidia shipping protection. Now, a lot of people ask us like, should I keep your brand name or should I swap to my own personal name? Personally, I think you should leave our brand name. Not because I care whether or not our brand grows as Nvidia. We're not trying to build an independent insurance shipping protection business. It's not what we're after at all. But I think that in a client's mind, when they see a third party's name there as sort of being the shipping protection, they think of it as like, oh wait, this is an insurance company. And so they're more likely to keep it on, as opposed to if you called it your own store's name and you put your own store logo here, I think that the results would be less. So I always had mine like that, and I think it performs a little bit better. But we allow you to change the text, so you can, say, I don't want to call it shipping protection, I want to call it something else. And you can do that. You can change all the text. So you can change this text, you can take anything over here, you can go ahead and change. Plus stores are able to show it in checkout. You can choose whether you want it to be auto opt-in or auto opt-out. That means like on your cart page, do you want that the insurance should automatically be on and your customers have to choose to take it off, or do you want the opposite, the customer should do that? But I think my favorite feature is what we added, right? And that's the static or the percentage. So how much money do we charge for insurance? So in my legacy app, when we originally built it, we didn't build it with the option to be smart and figure out what the average cart value is, and based on that charge insurance. Instead, we had to set one price for every customer, no matter how much the order is. In our case, we did $8.50, and we found that caused a lot of problems because while our average order value is $150, $200, we have a lot of orders that are $40, $50 occasionally too. Mostly retention, mostly cheaper products that they're buying an accessory or something, or part of an item or whatever. So when they are playing a $40 item and placing a $40 order, and they see another additional $9, $10, that's like almost 20, 25, 30% of the order. And they look at that and they're like, wait, I don't want to pay that, and they opt out. But when you have a small percentage, if it's only like $2 or $3, they'll leave it on. So you lose out on by being forced to have one set price for the entire thing. For any order, you kind of lose out that way. So what we did is we gave you the option to choose a percentage. So it's like 2% of every order, and that will constantly change based on whatever the total cart value is. But I think what's more fun and more interesting is the static. And the reason why static is so great is because we let you define certain rules. So you can say from $1 till $30 is going to be $2.99. From $31 till $99 till, let's say, $75 is going to be $4.99 from 76 till 159 is going to be $6.99, etc. Right? And then you can click save, and those settings will be saved in your system. Right? Now the default minimum is 75 cents. So anything on if the order doesn't meet it, then that applies both to 2% or not. Also, we also like to round up. So like, we'll round up to the closest number that we can possibly round up to. So if say 2% equals $4.22, we're just going to round it up to $4.50 or $4.25. Like, we're going to round it up to the nearest variable that we have, and that's it. Now let's talk about the claims portal. So the claims portal is another really beautiful feature that we did. So we wanted people to be able, we wanted in your dashboard for you to be able to see, how much revenue you made, how much insurance did you get, and all these kind of things, all these different data that we wanted you to be able to collect. And for that, we needed the claims. So we created a claims platform where you can create a new claim. You can look up a customer's order number or a username, or an email address, and see all the orders that they placed, or the specific order if you have the order number, and you could choose what you want to do with it. And this is for your customer service team. The customers, on the other hand, also get a portal, and they can file a claim on their own behalf just by clicking a couple buttons. We create a little widget, on-site widget, and we create a page for it, and you can link to it on your footer, or you can have your customer service team send it. Basically, this is it. And honestly, it's one of the simplest apps. It's not so simple. We have a nice lot, meaning technology-wise, it's a bit complex, how to manage Shopify's carts and being able to do that, especially on the checkout side, if you have a Plus account. But from the perspective of the customer, it's a super simple product. The claims is easy to do. All of these features are easy to run as a business, and it makes money. That's the bottom line. Every merchant is looking for a way to add a little bit more revenue to their bottom line, whether it's find a way to offset the cost of shipping. If your cost of shipping on average is $12 per package, and you're able to cut that down to $4 because you're getting $6, $7, $8 from the customer in shipping protection, while still offering free shipping to the customer, you really, really win, and you cut your cost of goods and your cost of doing business down by 10, 20%. So it's a no-brainer. What's really, really nice is that it pays for itself, and I'll say this 1,000 times. Now, I'll just cover a couple things that, I've gotten questions over the time, and some of you I see writing in right now are asking some questions about, like, do customers really do this? I showed you that customers do it. I showed you 65% in my store are doing it, and in some of the other customer stores that we see, and I can show you those stores, we're seeing very similar numbers. I think, if you have a very, very male crowd and a very, very, muscle, crowd, you might if you're doing fitness or health products in the fitness space, maybe, those customers might be a little bit less prone to doing it. But if you have, an average middle-aged sort of customer base, I think that you'll find that you'll have similar numbers to ours. And so I think with all that said, I think I'm going to cut this here today. Please, comment below. I'm probably going to end up posting this on YouTube. So if you see this on YouTube, comment below any questions you have. You can click over to our site, install it. Our team will do our best to install and test and make sure everything's working properly within 24 hours from when you request it. You can do a manual install yourself. Most likely you do that and you're going to end up screwing it up a little bit. So we really, really... Maybe, hey, no offense, maybe you're very smart, maybe you have good developers, whatever, and if yes, go ahead and do it. But otherwise, we would love to do it for you. It's absolutely free, we'll do it. In terms of pricing plans, like I said, we have a free plan for 50 orders. So if you're doing small volume, you're not a big store, I don't care, just get this app in, get rid of that other company. If you know who I am, I really don't want to mention their name and get sued by them, but if you know who they are, get rid of it. If you need our help getting rid of them, we will help you get rid of them. We'll go in, we'll remove them, we'll clean out any of their code, and we'll make sure our app is in there instead. Our app is completely self-service. We don't talk to your customers. We don't collect any money on your behalf. We're not taking a percentage of the shipping protection for our pockets, which is what some of these apps, there's one or two apps who came up with a sort of similar version of this, and they're taking money, they're sharing the revenue with you, half and half. I don't want that. I don't want to get $4,000 a month from you. $100 is perfectly fine. It's enough to cover the cost of the technology, maybe make cover our support team, and that's it. Like I have a life and a job, so does my partner. We're not in this to get rich or any of that. That's not really wasn't the goal. The goal of this app was 100% to give back to the community who has built us. I'm active personally. My name is Mark. I'm active, super active on the Shopify subreddit, on Facebook Shopify Plus groups, in a lot of Shopify regular groups, on LinkedIn. And you guys can email me anytime you have a question, comment below if you have other questions in general you'd like to know. We're seriously considering maybe, starting to do weekly reviews or weekly other hacks and stuff. And we are actively building multiple other apps that are, along the lines of figuring out. Because the truth is I'm a merchant, and now I have a whole team of dev resources available to me to build whatever I want. And I know what I suffer with. If you have any ideas of stuff you suffer with and you want to see an app for it, hey, comment below, let us know, send us an email, send us a message, and we will build it. Because our team is all about building stuff from merchants to merchants. I noticed this as a trend in the Shopify App Store over the years. I've been a Shopify user for 5-6 years now. And I've noticed most of the apps are run by developers. Like they were founded and built and designed by developers. And the problem with being a developer is you don't understand the merchant. You don't understand your end user. You may have done research, you may know a little bit, but the truth is unless you've been a merchant and suffered and uploaded products yourself, changed metafield data, made mistakes, discounted apps and installed apps that left so much code. There's one brand of apps, they have like 20 apps, and they leave so much code on your site that if you remove them, your site breaks, and they will not help you. The support sucks there. And I think that was something that we knew going in that we would never ever do. Our app would always be something that would be lightweight, easy, quick. We will not add load time. We tested it, and the load time was so minimal that it didn't actually make a difference. And also because the cart page isn't a heavy page, it doesn't have a lot of content usually. It really, really doesn't make any impact to your actual load time. And that's another really beautiful thing about the way we built our app. So please download it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever all the cool kids are doing. And please, by any means, comment. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your ideas. We have about 4 or 5 new features we're rolling out on this app. Whenever you watch this, maybe it'll be already out there. But we're going to be rolling out a few new features that are going to make this even smarter. So, we have an idea to do A/B testing and be able to see on a daily basis how much money we can reach. Can we, for example, charge $10 or $14? And how will that impact both the conversion rate, but also how will it impact the opt-in, opt-out rate? Will more people start opting out? And so we want to be able to jump tiers and have a dynamic mode. So I showed you static, I showed you percentage. I'm sorry, but we want to also build a dynamic mode, which it will constantly using AI technology, artificial intelligence, be able to constantly study all these different variables and figure out, a data-driven model that's going to raise that insurance premiums to the most. And we have ideas for fraud, we have ideas for being able to mark people who are abusers of the system, all of that good stuff. So go in, check it out. Also, we set up the very basic features of how to handle claims. We have reorder, we have refund, and we have I think it's cancel or deny the claim. But if you have a different way you want to handle it, or you have a different idea how your customer service wants to handle it, let us know. If it's something that makes sense, we'll just build it for everybody, and we'll make it an option for everyone. So again, download the app. Leave a good review if you do, because Shopify gives a lot of credibility to reviews, and it means a lot to us if you leave us a good review. And just this video, if it's on YouTube, like, share. My email, I'll send it to all you guys in this webcast, and I'll let you guys all know. If you have any other questions, you can contact me. The link for this video is going to be in the description for the app. So if you want to download it from the App Store, it'll be in the description. And with that, I say goodbye, and I hope that this is the first video I've done. I haven't spoken on camera before, so over the next couple of weeks, I plan to get a better setup and start doing this more often. So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Be well. God bless.